Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for episode 8 of Fukigen no Mononoke and Tsuzuki, or The Murose Mononoke and Tsuzuki, I guess? I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's what it is. I haven't actually seen an English title for it. But either way, this is probably going to be my first perfect score video all year so far, at least that I know of. This show, I kind of was really honest with you when I went into it of how the reviews were going to be and everything. I watched the first season, I reviewed the first season. I thought it was a solid 7 out of 10 show. It's a good show. It wasn't anything super special or anything, but I personally liked it, which is why I wanted to review the second season. Because though it was a pretty good show, I really, really liked it myself. But so far, Tsuzuki has been incredible. It's been really solid week after week. From the storyline we had in the underworld with the executive to the story with Kinako, that episode was so good, and this episode even beats that. This was just really, really good, and it was surprisingly good in a lot of ways to me. So either way, let's talk about the episode a bit. Starting off, before I even got into the episode, I remembered right as I was going to watch that we got the Keshi stuff at the end of last week's episode, and I was like, it's time to feel. Gonna have to feel things. But they start off the episode by fixing up Keshi because her body was all destroyed and cracked apart. Then one thing I loved about it is when the dad walked in and both he and Hanai were scared, where he's like, that's not a ghost, right? And Hanai jumps in, no, it can't be. So I loved that part of things. And then we have the Bone Festival, I believe is what it was, and I love the characters in this show so much. The way they play off each other was all really, really well done here, and everything was just good. It feels kind of weird not seeing Yaiko here, because it seems like the kind of thing he'd totally be into, especially since Zenko's a part of the storyline. But whatever, I love the characters, I love the storyline, it was all so, so good. We get to see the story of Keshi's memories of last time and why that rumor got started about the ghosts interrupting things and all that. And everything about the scene and everything was so, so good. And then we get the scene of their departure, and just like with Kinako, why do I have to cry every time with this show? This show was breaking me up. It was breaking me apart. After she leaves, though, and all that was beautiful, Haruitsuki collapses, and the way the music shifts and everything is so well done with him collapsing after she left, and what the characters say to each other. It was just really, really well done. Not only was the departure well done, but this afterward scene was really, really good. But then it seems like we just jump out of nowhere, straight from that into them talking about someone called Oisuke, and I was like, is this a flashback? How much time has passed? This is a really abrupt transition. So at first I was like, okay, the first part of this episode was really, really good, but I'm going to have to take away a little bit for that kind of weird transition. But then it all came around, and I'll get to it when I get to it, but it was all really, really worth it. I loved the children and their child vision. It was so good, where they just saw Haruitsuki and Hanai as these gangsters. It was so, so good. All the jokes they made using that were also really good, so I went from, again, crying over the Keshi storyline to this storyline killing me, me not being able to hold back from actually laughing out loud. And one thing they bring up here that's good with Hanai sort of blocking them from smashing the watermelon and saving Haruitsuki and all that, not really saving him, he wasn't really in serious trouble or anything, but the point that they're getting at is that Haruitsuki's being really reckless and careless. He isn't putting a ton of thought into things. He's just doing things for these yokai and putting himself at risk. And Hanai needs to figure out a bit more of why. And that's where we get this really cool reveal that we had that abrupt transition after he collapsed. He had collapsed because he was hiding missions from the executive from Hanai. And they have this really cool conversation on the slide, and it was so, so good. It makes me love this show, how well the characters were developed here, and the conversation was just so well done. Again, all of this way, way beyond what I was thinking of a show where I was like, yeah, the first season was good, maybe 7 out of 10. this was incredibly good. And I love the sequence where they're joking around. He's about to smash the watermelon and everything, and he puts on the blindfold, and that's how we get the reveal that the executive wanted him to have Hanai working with him, because that's what Hanai's like, just tell me, whenever you have a mission from the executive, I'm not scared, I'll do it. The executive wanted him to have Hanai do it. He wanted to scare Hanai into not working for him anymore, but Haruitsuki's thinking to himself, the plan didn't work, Hanai wants to do this. He sees what kind of person Hanai is, and we have that bit of fear and insecurity that Hanai could leave him, but it being overcome by the way that Hanai actually is just so good. And the OST was incredible through the episode, really good here. We end off with a scene of Hanai talking to the Mononokean. Of course, Haruitsuki comes in, and we end off with them all together, sort of established as the Mononokean group as summer vacation is ending. Again, it was a really, really cool scene with the 4 members of the Mononokean really together like that. So yeah, episode as a whole, I thought it was amazing. I was blown away. I legitimately did cry and laugh both in this episode. The voice acting was amazing. The OST was just, and that's in previous episodes of this season. I don't remember, gosh, I'll have to go back and rewatch the first season or something. I don't remember the OST being this good, but the OST is incredible. I loved every second of this. I was completely drawn in because, again, we started with this feelsy but heartwarming drama with Keshi to transition into this really, really good, funny comedic stuff that brought about a ton of good character development, and the last 2 scenes being really, really good and important for the story. So yeah, every second of this was really great. The character development is really, really good. I've said that a lot this season because they've really been diving a lot into the character development this season. Like, they didn't do it as much last season, but this season they've been going at it really, really hard for the character development. And the thing that I said that I loved about the first season, the thing I loved about the Kinako episode, I love when they just have the one-off episodic slice of life stories. So in addition to doing really well with character development, they were able to deliver those slice of life stories. We had that funny comedic story with what was the name again, Oisuke, and the really feelsy, heartwarming story with Keshi. It was so good. Everything about this episode was incredible, and this show has, surprisingly to me, because it isn't one of the big name popular or really high production quality ones, I wasn't expecting it to be my favorite thing to watch this season, but I feel like Fukigen no Mononoke, and I can safely say, is the only show. I mean, I really, really like Wataten, but like, I'm watching a lot of shows where I'm like, I can fall a couple episodes behind and catch up, or a couple shows where I'm like, I don't know, maybe I don't have to watch this episode right when it comes out. Wataten, I've been really enjoying and liking as soon as an episode comes out, and of course, The Promised Neverland, because I'm reviewing it as well, but I don't think anything this season stands up to this show with how much I enjoy it, and how much I'm like, okay, the new episode's out, I really, really want to watch this. So, yeah, I think this is solidly my favorite show this season right now. Absolutely love it, and I hope you do as well. I'd give it 10, this episode, 10 summer vacations out of 10, since we're going to transition back into school stuff, it would seem. Yeah, I was expecting to love the show, of course, because I loved the first season from a personal level, but I wasn't expecting to not only love it, but to view it at a high level when it comes to actual story and production and everything. But again, I am kind of viewing it at that high level right now. I think this season is so much better than the first season, and even then, I really, really liked the first season. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it too. Like if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of these episodes and what you thought of my thoughts on them. Also, for just like the one-off characters and stuff, there are a lot from the first season that I really loved, like the one like Seal Girl character and the Scarecrow guy. I loved his story, but I don't think like many of them live up to like Keshi's story was so good, and Kinako's is like the best. I think I have become more attached to Kinako than any of the little one-episode characters. So yeah, they've done a good job with that too. But like, comment, I said, subscribe for more Fukigen no Mononoke and much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel or talk to you there. And if you want a link to our Discord server to talk to me or more of us about this series or anything else, then just ask and I can give you a link. That's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.